Throughout this course, an intro to media communications, we have done quite a few different projects, some from talking about our media exposure to media strategies exactly that have been used that we would implement. We've also been able to get expert type articles and advice. It's really been very fascinating, especially for those who are focused on media and communications. And speaking about my physical presence, say in the live go-to sessions, or actually rather the videos that would be and the recordings that would be shared, it always was able to give information that ultimately would be helpful. Miss Stredgen would offer us information, and then we'd actually end up seeing it in the particular assignments, or sometimes even in articles and things like that we would read. So it was nice because we really were able to see again that this was so well focused on media communication. I did stay present while I was working on my class stuff. I usually tried to get things in there a little bit quicker than say, the due date or the final day, always just in case I had any extra questions and stuff like that. I had excellent time management as far as my plans for time management in my organization was concerned, because ultimately that was able to allow me to get familiar with the course material, say on Monday or Tuesday, and then by Wednesday or Thursday be able to have things all worked out. And it really was in a way that supported my learning. And speaking about my attitude towards class and the assignments, and ultimately how it impacted my motivation, it was fine, because although we are in an online structure, you still have so many resources from your instructor, from your support teams and things like that. I was able to keep a wonderful attitude now, and I'm a little ways into my particular degree program. Assignments like the fear setting assignment, that was wonderful. I loved how we were able to do that assignment first, because that to me is not just going to speak to what it was about in this class, but it's going to help me understand a lot of things in future classes and in future events and situations. I didn't think that I would like to really watch those TED Talk videos. I'm more of a listen to YouTube, music on YouTube every day type of person. But you know what? It was really informative for me, and it was very much well so understood. Designing my survival guide was a fun assignment. I'm glad that Ms. Stredgen put that into our assignments. And Neuro What was probably the worst one for me, just because of the fact that I see sort of or the organizational structure, rather, of the marketing world now, and in like 6 different forms. You have your guerrilla marketing, you have your social media strategies, then you have your neuromarketing. However, I did like that it explained to us about exactly how deep that advertisers and marketers, researchers are willing to go as far as finding out what makes us buy what we buy. It's almost like, why'd you walk in that direction? You know what I mean? Or why did you say what you said even? But I really enjoyed learning about that, the neuromarketing, and completing those particular assignments were excellent to be able to better understand marketing and communication strategies. I will put my ability, as far as the ability willingness matrix goes, I'd probably put the level at high. I'd put it, I'd say that because I did try to get my assignments in there so early and so professionally, and I also tried to make sure I always had some sort of communication with my instructor / leader, and I know that is going to definitely hit industry expectations, and also make sure that we are able to stay on the same page. Inquiring, one of the prompts said that would I efforts in hitting deadlines and communicating meet the industry expectations, and with that said, I would say yeah. I would say that for two good reasons. And the first reason is because when we're ultimately talking about deadlines and we're ultimately talking about certain industries, we have to remember that there's many of them that are deadline industries. The news and media industry is one, and communication is going to be very, very key every single place you turn, because you're not necessarily in this by yourself. Just like in this class, I know no teacher ever wants to really see a student fail or not do well, but at the same time, you're both on a team, and understanding that, communicating that, is always going to be paramount. And I was able to do that again with Miss Strudgeon, who I think from week one, she was just very amazing as far as her communication, as far as her feedback, and definitely it definitely made this exceed my expectations. And suggesting what I would have done different, in other words, if I could go back and do anything differently, it would possibly be maybe the communication techniques. I'm sorry, that's a lawnmower back there, but it would maybe be the communication techniques that I utilized as far as my classmates and my group mates. I do wish that I would have been able to maybe text them as soon as possible, or a lot more quickly than I could, or respond to them a little bit more quickly than I could. But ultimately, I do still think that they'll do okay and I'll do okay, and wish them very much success in this class and in their studies here together, also at our university. Now that I have reflected on the first month, looking forward, I would honestly say that I'm at the proactive stage, where I understand how to sustain good awareness of needs, good self-accountability, reviews instructions, at least by midweek, starts assignments early in the week, one of those type of people. And I do that because I see, again, the amount of resources that have been given to us. I didn't mention earlier that we also received a laptop to complete our studies, as well as an iPad. Aside from all of the other support that we're able to encounter and utilize, and it really truly made it easy for me to get on here, get my assignments done and completed, and receive a fair grade. And there's nothing more that you or anybody, I think, can really ask for. And I am satisfied with this. And as I prepare for the industry, I am very satisfied with the way it seems it will look. Full Sail's often said that the reason that they treat us sometimes the way they do is because this is how our bosses are going to do us, or are going to treat us once we get into our industry. And you know what? I would be very, very pleased if I was able to ever be in a profession or career with people who are like my instructor, like my classmates, and as well as like the other staff and support that we have here. I'll do excellent, and I know that I just need a little bit more studying. Like, I'm going to get here, do well in some of my classes, and we'll be okay. And going forward, I have a lot of specific behaviors that I'll be using to ensure my progress. But one big time is going to be, again, the organization and the planning. We had an assignment that was about our media exposure, and while that's not specifically time management and time consumption, it really started getting close to that. Keeping plans, even charts sometimes, is wonderful for schedules. Yesterday, I think I spent 5 hours playing on my PlayStation, and, if I would have cut that down to maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, with a specific detailed plan, I think this assignment that I'm doing right now actually would have been done yesterday. I mean, I see that I'm actually almost done with this assignment, so I'm probably right. Another behavior that I would be using going forward would be to effectively communicate, and also professionally communicate. That's, things like including a timely response while also waiting for timely responses, and also making sure that we're able to understand each other completely, and then we're able to just simply move on and get the job done. This has been an extraordinary class for me. I really had a wonderful time with all the help that I've received, and going forward, it's going to be great to be able to learn more with these people and with people like this here. Thank you.